Nice. So clean. If you don't know Calgary, we've had water rationing after a water main broke. So I haven't been able to properly wash my bikes for a long time. Looking good. Today is going to be something a little bit different. Riding my bike to work. Taking the V2 out. Super warm here for September. And just going to do a little chat about V2 versus V4. So tomorrow I've got a chance to go and actually test ride a V4S Streetfighter, brand new 2024. And that should be that should be an experience. The question is, if you got a V2 or you're thinking about a V2, do you need more? Let's check it out. I guess this is I was gonna say a theoretical question, but it's, I guess, a practical question. So I have two motorcycles, and you know, in Canada a V2 is $23,000. It's not an inexpensive bike world to get into, in Ducati world, but it is literally a naked race bike. My 700, my dual sport, probably all in another 13,000, and I got a good deal on that, so it probably should have been more like 16,000, but yeah, I bought the 2023, a year old, brand new. And so all combined, I'm in well over 30,000, and I could have bought a V4, I guess, in retrospect. And the question is, do you need more? So this is probably one of my favorite bikes that I've ever had, and what I wonder is, when I'm flat out, you guys have been watching my videos for a little while, 10 tenths full speed, I'm in the 260s if I'm on a good day and it's nice and warm, but I'm flat out. I'm at the bottom of the throttle, just hammering. And so the question is more? You know, I dropped a note, or one of the questions on Yami Noob the other day. He's asking, you know, is riding a smaller bike or a slower bike at 100%, is that better than riding a fast bike slow? And if you really paid attention to that video, at one point he kind of slips in there the, hey, the better thing is riding a fast bike fast. Because that's really what it's all about, isn't it? So this is kind of a precursor to my ride tomorrow. Do I really need more? Well, I think all these questions of need are, you know, irrelevant, because we don't really need any of this. Do I need to ride to work at 200 kilometers an hour? Probably no. But is it fun? Hell yeah, it's super fun. You know, my Monster was a great bike, and everyone gives me some slack sometimes, like, oh, how come you're always slagging on the Monster, the 937? And that's not it at all. It was a great bike. I just wanted more. So the eternal question, had the Streetfighter V2 for 2 seasons, do I need more again? Motorcycles are like anything. If you add up the sum of all your motorcycles or your cars, I also have a truck, all your gear, could you have had the ultimate thing? You know, could I have had a V4 instead of what I have? For sure, I've already spent the money. The question is, you know, not just is more, but it's sort of like, is having less but having the thing that you really wanted, is that more important? You know, for years, this is a funny example, but I love watches. And so I started with, you know, kind of the generic stuff, not naming names, but, you know, $200-300 watches. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. And I'm a racing fan and a moto fan, so I really love Tag Heuer. And so I started with a really sporty classic watch. Then I wanted full stainless steel. Like, okay, that watch went from the $700 or $800 watch to like a $1,500 watch. And so then I bought that watch. In between, I bought a whole bunch of other sporty watches that were like, you know, from Vestal and Volcom and like all those kind of sport guys. And then one day I was like, well, what I really want is a stainless professional grade automatic. And so, age myself here, in 1997 I bought that watch for $3,300. I had to special order it, and you know, 20 some years ago that was a lot of money. I still have that watch today, and I've never bought another watch. So is that going to be my lesson in motorcycles? I bought a lot of motorcycles, but in this past 3 years, 937, Streetfighter V2, do I really need just to bite the bullet and go for the V4 just because of what it is? Well, to answer my own question, I've never ridden a V4 from Ducati, so that's the plan. Now let's open this thing up. Oh, traffic instruction. I guess that's the other question, is in the eyes of safety and people being good Samaritans, some kind of accident here for sure. Is all this speed on an open road, minivan and an SUV of course, is all this potential? Is it safe? Is it necessary? Just like I said before, it's not necessary, but you know, if you ride safely, riding fast is an addiction. You know, if I can go 260, do I want to go 300? Yeah. So what's next? Well, I guess you have to go 300 to know if that's enough, if that's a difference, and if you're willing to, you know, trade in the bike you have and spend another $10,000 or $12,000. And this bike's 2 years old, so I'll probably lose some money to have that experience. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. I wish you guys could hear what's playing in my helmet right now. I might be a closet girl punk rock fan. I gotta make myself laugh. I hate your guts. Homework I did today on V4 versus V2. Well, I've got a little slow spot of construction here on my commute. I was expecting the V4 to be much heavier. I expected it to be like 20 or 30 pounds heavier. And the wet weight before fuel, they both have the same fuel tank anyway, is only 5 pounds heavier. And so that 5 pounds for an extra, man, almost 60 horsepower, 55 horsepower, is pretty wild. Do you think, you know, the scientists at Ducati and the engineers bringing that much more power for the same weight is pretty wild. And the one really interesting thing is The torque curve is very similar. Around 9,000 you're going to hit peak torque on both bikes. But of course on the V2, my red line's at 11,000. And the V4, I'm pretty sure it's at 13,500, which is wild. So that power band in this bike, when you're hitting maximum horsepower, is above 9,000. It keeps climbing to about 10,750, almost 11. On the V4, that power from 9 up, that's where your extra 50 horsepower is. So you really have to wind it up to get the maximum power and the biggest difference out of that bike. And so I'm really curious to get on it. From all accounts, the low speeds, I'm in second here, about 5,000 going 60 kilometers. The low end sounds very similar between the two bikes, but that's traffic world. As you guys have seen, I actually do a lot of commuting on the freeway, so looking forward to revving it up. Pretty stoked. What's up, everybody? It's been a minute since I had a video. Just dropped in a quick one with my running out of gas saga. That was pretty funny. So if you haven't watched that one, if you think your Streetfighter has 17 liters of fuel, it doesn't. It only has 16. So wrapping up today's video, pretty cool day coming tomorrow. Going to go test ride the Streetfighter V4S. Sounds pretty cool to me, and really dug into those stats. Like I was saying, it's pretty amazing. It's only 5 extra pounds. 5 extra pounds and an extra 55 horsepower, so pretty stoked to check that out. Watch for that next video. It's going to be pretty sick. Thanks for watching. See y'all soon. And thanks for all the comments while I'm at it, actually. Lots of people from Facebook V2 group, and you know, there's not a ton of information on YouTube on working on these bikes, and so I'm not a mechanic by any means, but happy to share what I've done, what's worked and what's failed, and appreciate all the support. So again, thanks, and we'll see y'all soon. Next stop, Streetfighter V4S.